I had no intention of using the biological studies that I was doing in the teaching pursuit at all. It's simply that certain factors were obvious. In other words, once I began to learn how we function, then it was obvious if I see somebody doing something prejudicial, we'll say to the use of his airflow. In other words, a substitution of function in the respiratory musculature, because after all, we do use respiratory muscles in childbirth and in pelvic pressures, in stabilizations and athletics, and so forth. And if I see a phenomena existing in an individual and the way he uses his musculature, and I know that he can't move air at that point, I may work with him a little bit as a therapist just to establish the airflow, to get him back into the use of the bellows activity that we have in respiration. I took this objective phenomena of our work in many instances and made it objective by bringing in the sense of sight, where we can actually, through pneumographic use, 3 pneumographs strapped around the chest, in the respiratory activity we can see on a readout device or gauges, we can see the movements of the body in respiration. We can compare it with the movements of air through the use of spirometric equipment. But I've taken certain phenomena which we just have to guess at and made it somewhat objective by the use of sight or by multiple senses that reinforce each other. But we never substitute any of this for the study of sound, phrase, the art of making music and of communicating to others. When we work at this subject, we do it away from music. We just normalize the function of the person as an individual in respiration, and but we keep the psychodynamics of music, so always it's an art form. In other words, in the brass player, it's like being a singer. When we play, our lips have to be able to act as vocal cords. The instruments, in other words, it will read out our thoughts. So the instrument has acoustical laws that must be obeyed. But we send in frequencies, just like a vocal cord would do. We send in frequencies to the instrument that have to be resonated. Now, to do that, we have to sing in the head while playing.